Zebra, Gold Partners D-Link Building Networks for People, Technology Partner Acer, Thrive Skills Partner Harappa, our associate partners Quest Plus, EduSkills, Veer Softech, Eval, MapMyIndia, and Superbot, our university partners Shobit University, Shulini University, Chitkara University, OP Jindal University, and Noida International University. Our institute partners Jaipuria Institute of Management and International Institute of Management and Technical Skills. Our government supporting partners are the Government of Telangana and AICTE. Our knowledge partner NBT.India. Our academic partners Millennium Education Management and Little Millennium. Our school partners Sanford World School and City Montessori School. Our preschool partners Sanford. So, moving ahead, we'll go with the panel 3 with an agenda of the immersive classroom, customized learning experiences with AR, VR, and new age technology. For the same, I would like to invite on stage our eminent panel speakers, Molshri Dubey, CEO, Professional Institute of Engineering and Technology, Raipur; Professor Prabhat Ranjan, Vice Chancellor, D.Y. Patil University, Pune; Professor Dr. Devendra Narang, Director, Jaipuria Institute of Management; Sudhanshu Verma, COO, Bennett University, Greater Noida; Professor Dr. Pankaj Gupta, Eminent Education Leader; and Dr. Sunil Rai, Vice Chancellor, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun. I would request you all to please come upon stage and guide us further.
Reward Chandan is giving. वो सही है. Atisha reminded. Thank you. मैंने Atisha को मैं बोल रहा था कि you can set up a good tradition कि those panelists who finish it in time should be awarded a gold chain each. Fine, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome back. We had lovely opening session and then of course very bright 2 panels. I will begin by expressing on behalf of all of us our sincere thanks to Adore.com. He said he is a startup. I don't think so, the way the team is working. So thank you very much Adore.com to bring us all together and putting up this very nice show, nice program. And there had been outstanding learnings that accrued in the pre-lunch sessions, and I'm sure that the post-lunch sessions will match up to whatever we did pre-lunch. It's my privilege now to invite my fellow panelists here, Molshri Dubey, Professor Prabhat Ranjan, Professor Devendra Narang, Sudhanshu Verma, he is CEO of Bennett University, my good friend Dr. Pankaj Gupta from Jaipuria, and myself, I am Dr. Sunil Rai, Vice Chancellor, UPES. The format, as they have said, so we will go very quick, and just to avoid multiple questioning, I will just talk of certain themes that we ought to discuss in this particular, and then the format would be we will just go initial for opening comments by the panelists. What we would do is just a one-line introduction, one-line relevant introduction, and then express your views maybe for 3 minutes on this particular topic, and then based on what it comes out, we will try and dig deep little more into that. We are going to discuss about the immersive classroom, which is customizing learning experiences with AR, VR, and new age technology. I think there's no doubt about it that we need this particular aspect all the more. I would just present my views, and before I hand over to, I request all my fellow panelists to come and express their views. As I said, I am Dr. Sunil Rai. I am Vice Chancellor of UPS, a beautiful university in the hills of Uttarakhand. All of you are welcome. I've got my predecessor, Srihari, here. He handed over to me a lovely campus, and I've made it lovelier. So you are all welcome to please come to this campus. My thoughts on this particular topic about immersive classroom. So we have gone through forcibly in the pandemic, and then as a principal, all of us, I think as academia, we can applaud ourselves. The way we have responded to the situation in the pandemic. People talk of COVID warriors and they talk of doctors. Well, of course, salutations to them, to the police, to the civic machinery. But I think we not to forget the teachers, because no business stopped. So I would request the hall to please applaud all the teachers in the country. To me, they are as much corona warriors as anybody else. So my salutations to all the teachers. And what has emerged is, of course, we very quickly moved into online mode with all the problems that we have had. We have actually delivered. We have all delivered classes. We have surpassed the government's deadlines, and we have conducted examinations, evaluations in proctored mode, online, and I think the students also responded very well, so all that is set. So I think as academia, we are ready for the online delivery of curriculums that we are heading. But there have been some problems, particularly about sciences, the learning disciplines which involve practicals. For example, science, engineering, design, where there is a requirement that labs have to be conducted. And in my university, when we were faced with this situation, so I requested my faculty and they came good. And we, of course, videotaped the experiments, made data sets. After all experiments, there are only three things to do. One is to conduct the experiment. Of course, before that, you are given a task, what is it required to be done. Conduct the experiment, take the readings, do the analysis, and come out, draw the inferences. So the second piece, which is conducting the experiment, we video filmed it. And then that gave an experience to the students as to this is how you would do it. And then, of course, we had multiple data sets, so each student was served a different data set. And then they worked on it and drew inferences, something which has worked well. An argument was coming, and it has been coming particularly we have a school of design, so the argument was coming as to how you can replicate whatever is happening in the real life through computers. Now, I am a naval sailor, as some of you know. I am a commander retired from the Indian Navy. And of course, we in the world of flights, air, the pilots are trained on simulators. We in the Navy are also trained on simulators when we have to take the ship alongside. We are all trained because you can't bang a ship while learning how to bring it alongside. Similarly, you can't crash an aircraft where you are trying to learn. Now, if such as, and of course, astronauts are also given practice on simulated platforms. So if such complicated things can be done using simulations, obviously it's a very high percentage of AR, VR, augmented reality and virtual reality. Emphasis is on augmented, and on the virtual reality, the emphasis is on the virtue of this particular reality which is being simulated. So if it could be done there, why it cannot be done for us? And we have tried, and we are still trying. So AR, VR definitely can substitute, if not substitute, can definitely augment. Someone still wants to go and to get a feel of it. Yes, by all means it can be done. So there are three things I'm suggesting before I invite my fellow panelists to talk about. Is the three words BDDB. How we can do it? Because one of the questions that I left my revolver at home, so I don't know who is firing. The organizers may please check. All right. So basically the three things that to make this AR, VR a reality is B stands for belief. Please believe that it can be done, which is why I gave that prelude about the simulations. No, it cannot be done. That's not true. AR, VR can be very fruitfully used. So first one is, please do believe in it. We as educators have to believe that it can be done. The second one is design. And obviously when you design, it has to be de novo design. You cannot translate a face-to-face proposition in an online proposition. You know, it's like trying to convert a 3-hour movie into a TV serial. See, basically there has to be de novo design when you are designing something for an online platform. And so second one is about the design, and third one is delivery. Now the delivery also has to be thought about very, very comprehensively. So it is not that AR, VR is going to substitute us. It is only going to supplement or augment our efforts is what need to be taken as far as delivery is concerned. So my suggestion is, my feeling is that AR, VR, yes, we can use it fruitfully. UGC is asking us that 40% we should convert all our delivery online, which is also meaning that 40%, and they're not saying it has to be asynchronous or synchronous. So it's for us to choose, and what I recommend that when 40% online is 40% saving of engagement time of students for more fruitful engagement, which is in real life. So why a 4-year degree program should be done in 4 years, we can think about it. If we have got such AR, VR techniques, and we do it in 3 years as to what we want to do, and the 4th year, let them go and learn it in the industry, as doctors learn it in the hospitals, lawyers learn it in the courts. So let these engineers please learn it in the industry. So with this brief thoughts on this, I would like to invite Dr. Pankaj for his views. You may just please, very quick one-line introduction and then your views on this AR, VR using as immersive learning.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Sunil ji. It is really great to be here, and also very heartening to be amongst so many great education leaders. Some of them are my good friends like Sanyal ji and many of you. I know it is challenging, to be here post-lunch session, and already very good background has already been said by Sunil ji. I would like, my name is Dr. Pankaj Gupta. I am currently affiliated with OP Jindal Global University, and prior to this I have been a 2-time Vice Chancellor of 2 eminent universities. I have been a Director of Symbiosis and many leadership engagement I have, like Group CEO and all that. Professor in IMT, IIM Kozhikode, and like that. Been taught in many countries. Now, I have deliberately not written my affiliation with any university, because one very defining moment happened where somebody told me that if you remove your designation and if you remove your company, then who are you? So since then, I have been always developing that what is my value and what value I'm also generating for all my other stakeholders. So that is what I try to do. So coming to this topic, one is, the normal way, like the do this and you will have this. You can create a lot of, VR, AR, those kind of simulated things. And as Sunil ji was sharing about the simulation and that experience either in Navy or in Army, everywhere. So technology is anyway supporting, and we always know that creating a lot of immersive learning in the classroom is not only responsibility of a teacher, it is both ways. I read one of this joke somewhere, somebody said, I taught my dog whistling. So then somebody says, I don't, hear him whistling. So he said, I only taught him, he has not learned. So it also sometimes happens that one person try to shift the responsibility. Yeah, I'm doing my best, other is not doing. But question is that, and also many people spoke about Eklavya and Dronacharya. Question is that whether the student has the patrata, the being there, and also the teacher. What is the being of a teacher is very, very important. So anyway, the topic is different, so I will not go into those details. Though I do a one program, Teacher to Guru program, which is very close to my heart. When we talk about immersive learning, we also know that there are techniques now by which you can upload everything, including your material, cases, videos. And before a teacher goes to the class, they know very well that how much they have already studied, till what time they had a problem, whether the further question which was supposed to be done, whether they have been done or not done. And accordingly, the teacher can, always change the gears. Ki I have to have a discussion mode, I have to do, court-martial approach, and like that. So that support is anyway available. And also, clicker technology we have. Earlier, many teachers have been saying, oh, students are, using mobile phone and so on. But now you know how to use those things to your advantage. You can use the poll and so many other techniques you can do by using their own tools. Like when I was studying, in my college, I used to do judo. And the judo is all about, using the opponent's energy to your advantage. So there is no need to fight with the student and, from their own domain, how we can use and be in their thing. Also, one thing which I have used, a lot of work through, using the WhatsApp groups. And also, like in the IM system, we have system, like 10 to 20 marks related points for the class participation. And we are not having a class size of 10, 15 people. We have 60, 70 big numbers. So, you can have a lot of, discussion over the WhatsApp and also discussion about what learning happened today, what is a key learning, then how did this learning happen, and what has been your contribution, and then also what is the additional contribution you have done, reflective notes, sharing, class participation, but and also using that into the live projects, bouncing board interactions, and so on. But the most important thing is the being transformation. Because see, if the right student is there, right environment is being created, teacher has not to do much. You need to create that whole environment over there. Therefore, the being transformation of a student and teacher both are needed. That is what I would like to emphasize over here. And for that, I have personally spent a lot of time in silence in the Himalayas, Tiger Hill in Bhutan and like that. So I believe being in the right direction and with a restful mind is very, very important. And once that right being is there, many actions will happen on its own. Teacher will know what to teach. Like the mother does not need to be taught. कि बच्चे के लिए करना है. So that is what I would like to say. I hope I have not taken much time.
Sure. And we will move to others.
Yeah, I'll come again.
Sure.
And Aap Deepo Bhava is the thing I'd like to say. That is very important for. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj. I'll request now Dr. Prabhat Ranjan, Vice Chancellor, D.Y. Patil University, for his views. And particularly, if you could kindly cover your thoughts on how we can use AR, VR for innovations.
Thank you. So I'm Professor Prabhat Ranjan, Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil International University, Akurdi campus, Pune. In Pune itself, there are multiple campuses and multiple D.Y. Patil universities, so I wanted to just make it clear. I'm a nuclear fusion scientist. I've worked in US and India for about 20 years in national labs, and I was heading India's technology think tank for 5 years. So I'm a futurist actually, and we had seen these technologies coming in Technology Vision 2035 documents. We've talked about it, which was released by Prime Minister 5 years ago. Personally, I experienced augmented reality, or I should say virtual reality in 1999, about 22 years ago in Japan, where actually I was inside a reactor and I could interact with the way things were happening. We actually, as a nuclear fusion reactor, we produce a magnetic field cage where you can capture plasma at temperatures much, much higher than temperature of the sun. So in fact, already about 10 times more than temperature of the sun has been created on Earth, like 16 crore degrees centigrade has been created on Earth using magnetic field. So there's a very complex configuration, and to visualize that, they set up a very special facility. It was very, very costly. And as Sunil ji was talking about, areas where it was either very impossible to have training, like he talked about ships or the flights and so on, the technologies were coming in, but it was very costly. But today the technology is starting to come down very much. I remember in around year 2000, I developed first VRML based app to actually simulate nuclear fusion reactor. So today, we have curriculum in our curriculum. We have in parts of Bachelor of Design, we have a user experience design where actually these things are being taught to students, and they are learning this. What I'm trying to do is that in my library, I'm creating a section which will have AR, VR section where students can actually, instead of looking at the books, they can use this to. What I am finding is that the content is still very difficult to find. So India can actually contribute tremendously in terms of content development, and that should be our focus. There is tremendous opportunity in this area. There are certain areas which are well covered, like medical education. If you look at medical education, it is quite well covered. There's a lot of content available in medical colleges. They are using some of these things. But if you go away from some of those, then you find there's a lot of content that needs to be created. And I will add holography also to this, augmented reality, virtual holography also. Dr. Kalam, we lost him in 2015. He was my ex-chairman. In the condolence meet, I announced that we will recreate Dr. Kalam, his digital avatar. That means this was a holographic replica of him, and students or children could interact with him the way he used to interact with children. And we are working on this actually. And based on this, actually, in a scheme for Department of Science and Technology that I prepared was interdisciplinary cyber-physical systems. We had put 25 grand challenges for the country. And the number one of that was creating a multilingual holographic guru. Multilingual holography means that it's a hologram that can be in your room, your bedroom. It is interacting with the students in the language of your choice. And the guru is scaled up to millions of students across the campus. The engagement would be much, much better than having a simply video conferencing setup. So that is the kind of thing that is we have visualized. It's already happening to some extent. But within the education system, this can revolutionize the way we learn. As has been talked about, is that teachers' knowledge is no longer important because knowledge can be gained from many sources. The role of teachers is changing, and technologies like this are going to be very, very useful for our system to scale up to large scale and to gain expertise at international level. But I will still emphasize the last point is that content development is going to be crucial for this. Thank you. I think I'll stop at this.
Thank you very much, Prabhat. I'll now request Professor Maulashri Dubey, CEO of Professional Institute of Engineering and Technology, Raipur, for your views on the new age technologies used for immersive learning.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maulashri Dubey, CEO at PITech, Chhattisgarh, Raipur. I'm a structural engineer and also a member of Forbes Women, a society which works on driving change and sharing insights and promoting women leaders. So it's a very overwhelming feeling to sit with Vice Chancellor and directors of various universities, because few years back, I was receiving my gold medal from the Vice Chancellor of Bangalore University in my bachelor's engineering. So it's been a long journey, and since I'm a structural engineer, so the first thing that came into my mind when the pandemic struck was to design the curriculum around the technology, which was not yet done and which still in the process. We need to segregate the space framework and the technical structure. We have been working on software like StatPro, where we fictionally create spaces and design buildings, and we can know how it will work and the failure loadings and deflections. And that's how the education system has become now. We are visualizing the concepts, we are understanding on the visual learnings that is being imparted to the students. So that's how the education system has transformed. So I joined the institute with two reasons. First, I wanted to promote the immersive classroom, that what the topic is about, and to promote research-based learning, and to enhance students of 8th semester to work on grassroots level and not just work on the projects by using Google as a backup and copy-pasting something. So I have done several live projects across the country where the students have worked with the Gram Panchayats, with the villages, and with several other universities. They have collaborated, so, and digitally and non-digitally. So this is how my working has been, to promote engineering and to promote science by seeing it as a savior to the environment and not as a threat to the environment. So sustainability is a thing which we cannot see as at the end of the pipeline. We need to focus on that. already a lot has been spoken about the digitalization and this scramble that has been going since March 2020, and we have been forced to switch to online mode of learning. But when it comes to engineering, there are restrictions because it also includes practical subjects. That example I always give, that how much ever theory you can give on swimming, but the person has to step down in the pool and learn swimming. So engineering cannot be imparted just through online learning. So I tried building a hybrid model where we have offline learnings of practical lessons as well. Obviously, AI and machine learning has become the integral part of education, and that is the future of engineering. But also, we need to look into the mechatronics curriculum part of it, and we need to amalgamate that with the futuristic engineering module so that the student can step into the current genre of artificial intelligence and stand on a global platform. Those are my views. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for the gold medal. I'll request Dr. Devendra Narang to please put forth his views on the new age technologies usage for immersive learning.
Yeah, good afternoon. I am Professor Devendra Narang, Director, Jaipuria Institute of Management, Ghaziabad. Well, the topic when we came to know to discussion on in the event, in fact, if you see the AR, VR which we are talking today, in fact, this technology is existing long back in our systems, in our education or in our IT worlds. But being an educator, we were forced to adopt because of the pandemic situations. We were, by heart, we are the teachers, and we don't want to leave our, traditional system of, sitting with the student in front of you and teaching on the whiteboard or the blackboard. But when we are forced to adopt, yes, it enhance our, efficiency, our, delivery part. But, there are many things which we face during this pandemic era. See, we are, speaking today, we are sitting with the full cloth and you are, listening to us. This is the reality. But when we were the online, when people were sitting with the half of the cloth and there was nothing in the, downside, and that is the virtual reality. So that was the, problem which we are facing. Even student pandemic was started, everything was shifted, online, and suddenly in 2 months' time, there was a discussion of the screen time. How much, time should, have student on the screen and the teachers? That was also, one of the question. Then now things has arisen that we were talking, in the morning, that students are facing, problem of the concentration, attention, and moreover is the retention of the knowledge. So that is the challenges which we are facing. No doubt, augmentations, realities, and virtual realities has improving our system, improving our, education. In fact, today's Times of India, there is a big article on that, the same role of AR and VR in the education. So, but yes, these are the benefits, these are the, advantages. Yes, we have also seen that if you see, edtech companies are why they are getting the momentum, why they are, getting adopted by the teachers or adopted by the student as well as the corporate a lot, because people are preferring to going online, this. Reason being, they are using this AR and VR technologies, long back. They have, they make the learning very, enjoyable, very, their retentions are very quick because they use the graphics, animations. They use the, which we call the virtual reality. Earlier, if we want to make aware our student about the soil molecules, we have to take to the, the agriculture land and, make the experience. But now you can take everything on the screen and you can have the real-time experience, on because of this AR and the VR. This is the advantages, and this is the reason why these edtechs and the online educations are getting momentum. But yes, we cannot, truly replace our education, classroom education, at least in India, because where we are having, lot of challenges, even challenges of internet is there. We at our end is very good, with the bandwidth of the internet, but the people who are receiving us in, the remote area, they are not, very, getting this, they are getting problem of their internet and not receiving the actual content. So that is also, the part of, this. Today we are talking about, data sciences, big data analysis, and even in that, one day I asked to my IT team, I said, why this, big data, this analytics is, getting momentum, and why people are talking only this. We are using Microsoft Excel from long back, and everything we have, can analyze and get the result. SPSS is there. So that fellow told me, that yes, now why we are using this Python or R or deep learning or machine learning, because of now the kind of reports, the kind of analysis, and the kind of information which you require in today's time, that is, giving the, edge to these data analytics tools. And in fact, if you see this Python and R, these were long invented back 20, 30 years back. But now the uses of those, languages and the software arises now, because this is the need of the hour, where, we are using with the big, data, big customers, so this is the reason now technologies is playing a role. And we cannot get away from the technology.
Thanks, well said. We'll just
Yeah,
come
yeah,
back to
yeah,
you.
please,
Come
thank you
back
very
to
much.
I'm sorry we have to earn our gold chain. So now I'll request Mr. Sudhanshu Verma, COO of Bennett University, Greater Noida, to please share your views on this
Thank you,
topic.
sir. Thank you. So first of all, I am the odd man out, I am not an academician. And I don't know why, but Chandan has been pulling me into webinars and all these kind of things for the last, close to about 1.5 years. So maybe he's seen a hidden academician in me, which I have not seen yet. So I'll try and look at this whole thing in a different way.
Sure.
See, if you experienced AR and VR, and like what sir was talking about during his nuclear fusion experiments and your Navy days, the use of AR, VR in our education system today can only get limited by the limit of our creativity and our thinking. There is not a single part of what you teach in class, whether it's face-to-face or online, which cannot get augmented by these two. There is nothing which you teach today which cannot get converted into a virtual classroom which is truly, actually interactive. Now you take the case of, we were talking about experiments, the chemistry experiments or the physics experiments. If you really go deep into it, you can create, using AR, VR, a lab in which the student can see himself or herself in the lab. You can have test tubes, you can have chemicals. The student can pick and choose which chemical is to be mixed with which one to get what result. And the same can be used to assess whether the result is coming out right or wrong. Nothing stops you from doing that. It's just the limitation of our own creativity and our thinking. I was yesterday talking to a company called Grant Thornton. They're pretty big in auditing and consulting. And I was telling them, so I'm just 11 years young in the education industry. Prior to that, I've had some 7 different industries I've been through. And I was telling them, if you look at, we have BBAs and we have MBAs. Not a single subject through the BBA or MBA actually teaches a student how to go and sell. Now you put AR, VR in the picture. You could actually create a market You could see the student or the person walking through the market, negotiating and talking to a virtual shopkeeper, which gets supported by all these big words like AI, ML and deep learning. You use all of that, you create a shopkeeper with intelligence. You can create courses, subjects and situations using these two and add AI to it, which you will never be able to do in a physical classroom or in an online classroom, which doesn't have this. And therefore it makes me feel that, the best is yet to come, because there is a fair amount of work which is yet to be done in this. What we see today as AR, VR is just the tip of the iceberg, as they theoretically say. In fact, we have a program in BTech CSC with gaming and VR. And if you really delve into it, and if you really go deep into it, I think one thing which can again hinder you over there is, unfortunately, is this whole regulatory stuff about 160 credits and 180 credits and all that. My thinking is, again, a non-academics thinking. You see, 160 is the minimum number of credits. They don't define the maximum number of credits. I find it very funny, you get a kid who's done 12, 14 hours a day of slogging in 11th and 12th. You bring him to a higher education institute. And then you tell him, okay, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. Uska to super luxury holiday. He is coming from a situation where he's worked double of that. And then, you try and justify it saying, if you give him more than this, he will collapse. The fact is, he is laughing all the way to his room. There is this whole generation, and if we go back to our younger days, our ability, our resilience, our ability to adapt is far, far higher as a young child versus at our age. You look at a 12-year-old kid today and you give them an iPhone, the latest model, and you pick the iPhone at the same time, the latest model. That kid will crack that phone and everything to do with that phone in 1/10 the time you can. Now that is the kid we are saying, us pe load badh jayega if we give him more than 20 credits in a semester. I have a daughter, she's in her 3rd year. She, as you said about, why have a 4-year program which can be done in 3 years, she was actually going to cross her 4th year program in the 3rd year, where we told her, we said, boss, this is the only part of life you can really enjoy yourself. Why? Because paisa to maa baap de rahe. They don't have to earn to pay their fees. Food is taken care of, clothes are taken care of. And it's the only 4 years you'll get to enjoy yourself. Don't rush into getting into a job or doing further things. So coming back, you see, AR, VR to me is the ideal way as of now, where you can actually create the whole world around a student, around a teacher. You could actually have a teacher like sir was talking about Abdul Kalam ji, being there and interacting with students. You can actually create a teacher, and this is one way, if you look at it deeper, where what we call as, self-paced learning, using these two in addition with AI, you can actually create a one-on-one classroom where a student will have true experience of self-paced learning. This is my view. I do not say I'm right, but I definitely say I'm not wrong.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सुधांशु, बट किसी से बाहर पूछेंगे ना, आपके यहाँ जो बैठे उनमें सबसे ज़्यादा एकेडमिशियन कौन लग रहा है? कौन लग रहा है सबसे ज़्यादा एकेडमिशियन? ऑल राइट, ओके. Now we got 4 minutes 41 seconds. Chandan, I think you can be happy. We are losing the gold chain. Don't worry. So we will just take a little more. Now let's go 1 minute each, and very specifically, if I will request panelists to kindly express their views on 2 aspects. One is about how can AR, VR make the learning experience engaging, interesting for the students, if we are going to be in the blended mode. So if you can, we can have some comments on that. And the other one is personalizing the education using AR, VR. For example, now as Dr. Mashelkar once gave an example, and he asked me who's her favorite heroine. So I said it's Audrey Hepburn. And who's the favorite actor? I said it's Devanand. So he said it's possible today that you can see Roman Holiday and replace Devanand, the hero Gregory Peck, with Devanand. And it's all possible using, so if this can be done, then how can we personalize education for students? Pankaj, we'll start with you. The fun of education and personalization using AR, VR. 1 minute of yours, time starts now.
Sir, it is a difficult question, but nonetheless, I would like to try. Many times, we have just taken models from the West and what Harvard and Wharton are teaching and just sharing over here. And our download has been much more. So as Sunil sir is saying that, our upload ratio, what kind of the new thing we can create, our issues of, what Dabur and Reliance and what kind of issues are there and how they are being handled. If we are able to bring that, and also the professors who are active in consulting, who also engage a student in their consulting and all, if the games are created and the VR and ARs are created out of that experience, they will be very important. Otherwise, the professor is teaching somebody else's game and VR, that will not bring that kind of energy over there. I also advise university, NIU, and there they have created this, they also have a big, medical college, and they have created those VR and simulated, where you can do experiment on, you don't need cadaver or those, dead bodies. So that students are finding very interesting. So I'd like to say creating your own wonderful way, and also the being of a guru is needed. And with that, I'll again say that the self-awareness component is needed, and little bit of inner journey will, create all the right solutions. That's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Prabhat, your views on how we can personalize using AR, VR, education for children.
So I had mentioned about challenges that were thrown to the country as part of interdisciplinary cyber physics. Multilingual holographic guru. So multilingual is a very important part of this country. The holographic guru backed with AI learns the child as well. So actually it is a scaling up the Guru Shish Parampara that we have had to millions of students in their own language, in their own place, in their own bedroom or wherever they are. That is how we see the 5G technology and the developments that are taking place is going to make this very much possible, but content development is going to be very, very crucial. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhat. Malshri, your views on how we can use AR, VR to make learning experience enriching, engaging.
As we all know, there's an app in Google Play Store, Skyview app, which is already using AR overlays, where you can hold your mobile up in the sky at night if you're traveling, and you can see the constellations and the stars, which is it. And people are enjoying it. The travel bloggers are posting it on Instagrams and Facebook. So we are already into that AR zone of enriching experience without even we knowing it, that what technology it's holding behind that. So that's the beauty of AR, VR experience. And the Microsoft has done a brilliant job. They have come with Microsoft HoloLens, where a medical student without holding a scalpel can understand the human body, the anatomy of human body. So that's how AR, VR is giving a very enriching experience. And with several apps, a teacher can take you to the base camp of Mount Everest with the Google Expeditions without you stepping out of your house. So we are already having that wide experience, like as I call it, the minimal experience with an expanded learning that we have switched on to in this 21st century learning.
Well said. Dr. Devinder, your views on using AR, VR for personalizing education.
Yeah. Most important question is the engagement of the student, and through that there is their upskilling and the learning from experiential learning. So there is what we can do, that there is use of gamifications into our system, into our curriculum. Then there is lot many tools are coming for simulations. That because we are into management education, so we are using this. So by these tools we can engage, we can make them busy, we can upgrade their skills. So that is important part, and AR VR is already included in that to in the gamification and the simulations part. Thank you.
Thank you. Sudhanshu, your views on making it interesting and engaging.
Some and add some.
Yeah.
So one thing which is there is that if you look at this generation today, this generation is far more visual rather than being theoretical, and I mean, they are not the ones who will sit with a textbook and they will underline and they will highlight. Yeah, in our time, like we used to make notes, you know, and notebook after notebook, and senior ki notebook bhi le li aur apni bhi le li, and then end of the day you realize that you. So these guys are far more visual. So if you look at AR, VR, that is one of the drivers which will excite this generation to really get involved and immersed in what they're doing. Second, as I said, you know, and if I look at it deeper, there are a lot of us in many universities. I've heard this word, and I first time I heard this word was when I joined Hindustan Lever, way back in '89. We have this word called mentor, right? And today, very proudly, every university says we've got a mentoring system. We've got a mentor. Aapka bachcha mentor, hamara mentor. Now the thing is, at the end of it, if you have a university where you have 10,000 kids, how many mentors will you have? All your faculty. Each faculty, given UGC standards, will have at least 20 kids to mentor. तो वो बेचारे पढ़ाएंगे कब और पढ़ेंगे कब और mentoring कब करेंगे? Now, if you look at AR, VR, and you use the artificial intelligence and all the knowledge and content that we have, you can actually create a virtual mentor, a friend, philosopher, guide who will always be available with the kid. If you really want to ensure that a kid has someone hand-holding, it's all about putting that intelligence and content into that virtual space. So, and lastly, what I said earlier, you know, it's one, and I would say one of the most efficient ways of actually letting the child learn at their own pace. You could create a virtual one guru, one shishya classroom for many of the things which we today try and do in a group of 60 or 20 or 30 or 100. That's my take, sir.
Thank you very much. I think we have had, in the limited time, wealth of knowledge that has come out. Just last round, so that, you know, unless we have gone through the 3 rounds, it will be incomplete. Just 1 or 2 words about the AR, VR that gold chain to chali gayi sahab. But on the AR, VR, basically, what comes to your mind when you look at AR, VR for education, hope, flexibility, things like that? Devendra ji. 1 or 2 words.
It's experiential learning and enrichment of the content.
Okay, enrichment of content.
Yes.
Molshri.
Yeah, what we traditionally had, those traditional static analysis, then we moved to P-delta analysis in the engineering. So I think AR/VR is the extended version of that P-delta analysis, which is giving students a visual concept and understanding of things, and especially if engineering is concerned.
Sure. Prabhat.
I would just say personalized guru in your room.
Fantastic.
Thanks
Subhash?
for agreeing with me finally. Someone
Yes,
is agreeing with me. I just extend the word. So I would not say, you know, something just for AR, VR. I would say AR, VR and education per se. These things can only be limited by our limitation of how we think and how deeply can we think.
Thanks.
And how creative. That's it.
Sure. Pankaj.
I will see there is an opportunity to have a personalized Dronacharya. So it is a great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think from my side, it is one word: AR, VR is equal to excitement. You know. So, and with that note, I would like to thank all the panelists. You had been wonderful. You know, we have still won the match in Duckworth-Lewis system, despite the rain curtailed time.
I must say that you commanded the team.
Thank you very much, and I think this team needs a good applause. It's over to you, young lady.
Thank you so much, sir. I really agree that visuals are the most exciting stuff when it comes to learning, because I myself believe that just not imagination of concept is important, but visualizing it makes it more authentic and more elaborative in learning experiences. Thank you so much for guiding us with that. I would like you to present the momentum of token to all the eminent speakers. Sir, please. To Ms. Molshri Dubey, CEO, Professional Institute of Engineering and Technology. Next we have Professor Prabhat Ranjan sir. Next we have Professor Dr. Divendra Narang. Next we have Sudhanshu Sharma sir. Sorry, Sudhanshu Verma sir. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. I am sorry sir. And Professor Dr. Pankaj Gupta sir. Now I would request Sudhanshu Verma sir to present the momentum of token to Dr. Sunil Rai sir. Sir. Thank you so much, all our eminent speakers. Thank you so much, sir, ma'am, for guiding us through this really experiences and really elaborated topic. So before we move on, I would really like to take your time for a few minutes, and I would really like to convey that yes, we all are here to spread awareness regarding the new rules of education, new way of education that is digital. But do you feel spreading awareness only in this room would be sufficient for that? I believe awareing you means awareing thousands, and for that we are live streaming on Facebook and we are on every other platform. So I would like you to request go and just search through our name and like the page, and please move it forward so that people can go through this awareness program and really learn what are the new rules and how do we learn today. So thank you so much, and moving on, we would like to call upon Sudhanshu Ojha sir, AVP Government Affairs, CSR and D-Link Academy, D-Link India Limited, for the industrial presentation on the agenda D-Link in Education as a technology partner with campuses.